Good morning, everybody. So, it's about 8 o'clock. We're going to get up early. We're going to give it a good full day, and hopefully we should make it right to about Cairo, Illinois, or maybe up to Olmsted Lock and Dam. Cairo, Illinois, the anchorage right before the Ohio River is about 42 miles. Olmsted Lock and Dam is 60. So, kind of just depends how the day goes, how our rudder holds up. And we'll push on. We're making progress. Things are going good. So I'm going to get everything all situated here and get ready. And we'll head on out pretty soon. All right, everybody on deck. We got the motor started and warming up. Get a good shot of our little anchorage here in the diversion channel. This was a super peaceful anchorage. You're off the channel, so no barge wake. Nobody's gonna come by you. It's just a nice little peaceful anchorage. I'm glad we got to have that last night. Got a good night's sleep on Cairo today. Thank you to the diversion channel. We appreciated your anchorage. Oh well, the river. We're heading south. Making progress again. It's supposed to be a little cloudy this morning, but this afternoon the sun's supposed to come out and end up being about 80 degrees. So life should be good. We just got to make 49 miles to Cairo or 60 to Olmsted Dam. So I'm not really sure which one I'm going to do yet. It'll kind of just go as the day goes, and we'll decide as it comes. Working out pretty good. I even matched the tape to the boat. I got my autopilot rigged up. All we got to do now is engrave some dragons or something in the tiller handle, or some sea monsters, and we'll be set. So I'm pretty proud of myself being able to figure that out and lash on the rudder and get that bottom guncheon reattached and rebedded while in the water still. I'm pretty proud of that. That was something I never thought I would do, and I never thought I would purposely, take out some hardware on the boat that's right at the water level and rebed it. But we do what we do. I am, personally, I have Danish and Swedish and Norwegian heritage. So I'm a Viking. I always laugh because Danish and Swedish are two sweet rolls, and I poke my belly and go, woohoo, like the doughboy. But, gotta speed up here a little. The current's kind of pushing us down into the curve, and we gotta go this way and then go around the curve so we don't hit that sandbar. And the sailors have passed the Vikings when they, crossed the English Channel to Lindisfarne and all that craziness, and the sailing and seafaring. There's the radio. It's part of my DNA. And as I was telling you yesterday, after doing all the stuff on the homestead, alright, we're going to clear them so then we can turn south here more, kill the motor, well not kill it, but go back down to our cruising speed. Not war emergency power, WEP. It's not war though, it's your emergency power though. And we're making progress. There's a nice beautiful bridge up here. It's gonna be a really nice day. And it's just crazy how in life you can go from 1 second being on, peaks and valleys. You're going, I got this. I was leading the pack the other morning with the AIS through the fog. We were all good. And then we had to pass a barge, so they had a little bit more speed. So that was probably about an hour before we ended up hitting something and ripping off the rudder again. So they had a little more speed, so they got ahead of me. And so I was in the back of the pack cruising. And they were in front of me, and they went right through where I went, maybe 5 minutes before. and bam! I have no idea what it was that I hit, how it could have been, because we were, oops, sorry, holding the wrong side of the camera. Only got one hand now with the tiller down here. I'll definitely have one big arm. People will think I sit alone at night all the time, you know, and but it's actually because I'm doing this tiller. Anyway, hopefully YouTube will not monetize my video for that. So it's just crazy, the peaks and valleys of 122nd. You're going, cruising, you know, you think it's a good day, then you're leading the pack, which is, you know, you're up in front. It was foggy. I had the AIS. I had to call the barges, you know, ask them what side they wanted me to pass on. You know, you could maybe see 200 or 300 yards, well, maybe 1,000 yards, half a mile ahead of you with the fog. You know, that was a little stressful, but we got through that. And then, like I was saying, I was in the tail of the group just following, so I wasn't having to lead. And I thought in my head, I'm like, I'm good. This is the rest of the day. We're going to be happy, and nothing to worry about. And then all of a sudden, bam, out of nowhere. And it was just crazy. So now I actually put the keel down like halfway, because I know the swing keel goes down lower than the rudder when it's down. It'll have a little bit of a curve to it, and but it would give me the ability, if in an emergency, to do anything I needed. So, and I figured when I go into the Ohio River, there's going to be a lot of current and barge traffic. So having that keel down will make it a little more stable, and then I don't have to worry about doing it then. Having to leave the helm here, I'll be able to just stay here right at the helm all day until we get to the spot that we're going to get to. I'm hoping we'll make it to Homestead Dam, but Cairo would be good, and then it's right before the Ohio River, so we get a good fresh day of the Ohio River. With Mississippi being so low right now, they're sending a lot of the barge traffic up to Tennessee Tombigbee, and that's then making that Ohio River entrance area there real busy. So yesterday or the day before, I think it was yesterday, Slowpoke and Last Boat 6 went through there in the morning. They had anchored there the night before, and then yesterday morning they went through, and they said it took about 2 or 3 hours before they could get through the lock. And they were anchored right below it, and they had messaged them pretty early. We're going to have to be ready for that possibility. But we're not going to be going through that lock today. But if we could get up to that lock again today and then anchor right below it, it would give us a real head start tomorrow, because then we can radio the lock and dam. We'll be anchored right there, and then we can ask them, you know, when would you like us to head on over, and they can tell us. Otherwise, if we anchor by Cairo there, we'll have to still do like 2 hours up to Homestead, and then, well, it might even be longer, because I'm not sure with the current, because right now we're going downriver, and anytime I've had to go upriver, I've been fine. Like when we went to Kids Fuel Dock yesterday, off of, after anchoring south of it, underneath the bridge, we had to go upriver, and that was fine. We were going 4 or 5 miles an hour easily. So I'm not real worried about the current, but I'm definitely guessing we're not going to be able to go like we are now, 9-10 miles an hour, which is nice. With the motor going, so when we were up in the beginning of the trip, we were going like 5 miles an hour, and we had the motor exactly the amount of throttle that we have now. And with the current down here, because there are no locks and dams after lock and dam number 27 there's actually a good current. Up north there with the locks and dams and with how low the water was, it was kind of like dead pools. There was almost no current in any of them. And so it didn't really help push us down the river. But now there's a good current going, and we're able to, with that same amount of thing, we're making almost double the speed. So that's pretty cool. And it's giving us a good amount of time and saving on gas. Things for people to think about and know about if you're going to do this trip is once you get past Hoppies all the way to Paducah, there really is no marinas or anything. There's that kids' fuel dock. You could use that in an emergency, but he's not someone that's a transient dock that's normally used to, or a place that you can just tie up anytime you want. You know, my rudder was broke, and he was real accommodating and was letting me be able to go tie up there, so that was pretty cool. Normally, you would have to buy a minimum of 100 gallons of diesel to even be able to dock there. And then he'll come down with his truck and unlock everything. He actually, on the phone, told me where he hides the key and everything, so that was cool. So I was able to dock, find the key, and lock the gate and go up into town, so we didn't have to worry about coming back and all our boat was gone or any craziness. So after all the stress we had, it was real nice to be able to go to a dock that then had a locked gate. And we didn't have to worry about that. And then we met Randy from Mississippi River Angels, and he was an angel. He brought me to go get gas, and then to my friends who I ordered 2-stroke oil and sorry, thinking back to like my 8th grade speech teacher, not speech, but English teacher. You don't say when you're giving speeches all the time. It's not proper speech etiquette. So I'm sorry, but I'm trying to think of stuff on the fly live, and I apologize about that. So, but he was definitely an angel. He brought me to town to fill up my 2 gas cans, and then go get that supply. It's a 2-stroke oil, which is Pennzoil extended life, high mileage outboards, or 2-stroke boat marine. This motor is from the 1980s, and it's old, and we want it to be as babied and conditioned as good as possible to make it through this trip. There's all sorts of other marine 2-stroke oil, and you want to make sure you can get the best stuff you can so that your motor is as happy as possible. So that's why I made sure I ordered it, because I haven't been able to, any of the marinas we've stopped at, I haven't seen any of the extended life or high mileage marine 2-stroke, so I'm real glad I've been ordering it. So we now have, I put it up in the front under the V-berth there, kind of way down the front a little more as well. And we got 6 gallons of that, so we should be good for 1 gallon does 150 gallons of gas, I believe. So we should be no problem there for quite some time. And then I got 5 bottles of Ring Clean. We use 1 ounce of that to every 10 gallons of gas. And each bottle is 16 ounces. So like 160 gallons. I got 6 of them too. So we should have enough of that to always put in the gas, keep our engine running peak performance, and then get the deposits down. I know one thing that I've noticed is like on the back of the boat and the soot. So I'm guessing in the engine, if it's doing that as well, that's a good thing. We're not having to build up, and the plugs aren't going to foul. Running real good. And efficient. Clean. No deposits or anything in there. Here we're getting ready to go underneath this bridge. I only have one hand, so with one on the tiller, so I can't hold the phone or hold the tiller and then do the phone to go check on the map here. But this is the bridge south, probably 4 or 5 miles from Cape Girardeau. We shouldn't have to haul any bridges until we get to the bottom of Kentucky Lake. And then we'll have to haul one to open. But from all the other sailboats and the top 2, we should be good to go with the map stuff. Hopefully we'll be able to get some sailing in, and still the wind keeps coming from a headwind. So it's just, I wish I get a good tailwind that we can throw up the sail wing on wing and then motor sail and we would cruising. And then plus with wing on wing with the sails up like that, it kind of you know, it pushes the boat, so then it would hopefully pull up this rear gudgeon out of the water. It doesn't leak anymore, but I'm just real weary of it at any moment. Small leak I don't notice or something. We do have the auto bilge pump, so if the bilge pump suddenly kicks on, I would know something's going down and I need to go look. But in my head, I just feel safer as we're going if that is up out of the water. It's not out of the water now, but I know if I put the sails up, it definitely would. Pushing from the wind from behind. But we'll be okay. I'm definitely thinking Kentucky Lake will be able to get some sailing in because it's a lot wider than the river, and I'm just hoping we'll be able to. I would have really liked to have sailed Lake Pepin, but I'm glad now with everything going on and the time frame and having to try to beat the cold as well, because the upper Mississippi River here closes, the Corps of Engineers closes it down November 23rd. So we have to definitely get to Cairo before the 23rd, and I would like to get probably down to Alabama by then. Otherwise it's going to be a little chilly. But that's fine. We're from Minnesota. The cold doesn't bother us at all. I just want the boat to make it. So hopefully we won't have to stay at Green Turtle Bay too long. I already ordered the parts and they're getting sent there, and then we'll have to wait, you know, overnight for the 3M and we'll do 3M 5200 this time. So it'll be real stuck on there. But I'm thinking maybe not. Maybe I should just use the 4200 again. Somebody was saying you don't want to go too crazy and reinforce it because you want it to fail where it failed. You don't want it to rip the back of the boat off and put a big hole in it. It's way better to have those 3 screws or those 3 nuts on those bolts stripped and it kind of pulled back instead of ripping a big hole in the fiberglass and you have, like, you know, a baseball size, softball size, you know, however wide the gudgeon bolts are in the back of your boat there, because 3 little half-inch holes are easy to patch. A big softball size hole, not so easy. So I'm thinking maybe we'll still just use the 4200 like we did before because we know it works, and then it won't be as attached to the transom. It won't be like cemented forever, because that 5200, that stuff I've been reading, you know, if you use that, if you want to get whatever you use with that off, you pretty much have to pull up the fiberglass or the gel coat of what it's connected to. So, which is good if you have something you never ever you're gonna have to ever, you know, really replace, like maybe cleats. They can break too, I guess. But like that rudder gudgeon, how it bent, you're gonna maybe have to replace that again in life. The original ones were just metal. I'm glad I have the upgraded heavy duty gudgeons and pinnacles as well. That helped. I don't know what would have happened if we had the weak point. They would have just been gone and floating behind us. But they can bend. And the new upgraded ones, they have those hard rubber bushings in there. So in theory, over time, you would never have to replace the gudgeon. All you would have to do is replace the rubber bushing after it gets wore out. But I'm not sure about that. Things to think of. And then we were looking online. I have a few people out there in YouTube land, the Brain Trust, trying to figure out how we can get these screws. Somebody was saying that goes down for screw on fitting to connect to there, but that's a transfer there on the end of the cable, or we might be able to just use clevis pin there, and then it would connect that way. And then on the inside, when we take it apart, we can figure out what the size thread is because there's a plate on the chain that goes from like right here on the wheel, and then it goes down maybe halfway, and it's on a metal plate you slide in and out, and then up in the top here there's some adjustment screws to make it longer and tension that chain, but it's basically just a big plate that you slide down in here, and then it just sits. And that chain, when it goes up and down, there's a little metal plate, and when that goes up and down, it pulls the cable and then causes the rudder to turn. So if we cannot find the right cable because single pedestals are no longer made, and I was looking online, and some other people were looking online, and they were saying, you know, if you have a single pedestal and it goes out, there's not much you can do. So what I was thinking is, like I was saying, if we can find that cable that has the hole on there, then we could use this instead of having to try to screw on the fitting to the cable that then goes to that. And then if we had to, we could probably weld the other end of the cable with just like a little hoop weld to that metal plate. We couldn't find one that is the right thread size. So I think it's a possibility that no matter what, we'll be able to fix the steering wheel as well. But no matter what, we'll definitely be able to get the rudder reattached properly. Just kind of held on with seizing wire and a whole lot of parachute cord. So we'll definitely, like I was saying, we'll have the rudder remounted properly, have new junctions and pinwheels coming. So we'll redo that. And then hopefully we'll be able to get the wheel repaired. But if not, the tiller works fine, and it's kind of, I'm liking it. Like I was saying, the balanced rudder makes it not that hard, and with the tiller you can actually feel the boat a lot easier and a lot more, which when you're sailing you want to know what your boat's doing. So I might actually just, if you have to, I wouldn't be a big problem to do the tiller the rest of the way. And somebody was pointing out, with a tiller, it's actually more economic. You can get an autopilot, gray marine, and then it connects over here. You put a little thing, and then it would go to here, and then it pulls and pushes, and then you'd be able to have an autopilot for a couple $100, whereas the one that goes on the wheel, where it's like a little motor here that then spins the wheel for marine, and it's got a compass. It's a lot more high tech though. It's got a compass and a gyro, and it'll keep you a lot straighter. Anticipates like the wind and wave roll and stuff I was reading. Whereas the one that's just for the tiller, the couple $100 one, doesn't do any of that. It just keeps going straight. They must have GPS or something to know to move the rudder to keep straight. I don't know how that works. Or if it's just a thing that just sits there and then holds it, and I think there's buttons on it, you can turn it like left and right, but I don't know if it'll actually like bring you to your destination, whereas the wheel one, if you have all the right stuff hooked up like a chart plotter, the Ray Marine's whole system, you can actually put in where you want to go, and it'll take you there. Which in a powerboat would be fine, but under sail that might be a little tricky. I've seen for sailboats they have these wind vane things that you put in the back, and it keeps you right in the wind, but I don't know if we'd have room to install one back here. Maybe on the right, no. On the right side we have the port for the tiller, I mean the wheel. But if we didn't have the wheel anymore, we could take off that mountain. Maybe that's a possibility of a wind vane. Anyway, you're just brainstorming. I still have to talk to Larry and Daryl because they were going to try to meet me in Memphis, Tennessee, and we're not doing the Mississippi with the low water level. So we'll have to kind of see what's going to go on with the prototype cover. He emailed me or messaged me with like a computer draft up of what it would look like. I'll add that into this video at the very, very end for you guys. And then you can kind of see what it would look like. I'm not sure if it's going to still come to fruition or whatever the word would be, but maybe. It would be really cool. I definitely need to get a new bimini cover though, no matter what. I thought I brought it and I didn't. What I ended up bringing was just the roll thing that goes over that and then zips. So when you're not using it and you fold it up, and then the bimini would be in there, and then it covers everything to keep it safe. I thought the bimini cover was in there, and I had unsnapped it from the bimini, and I didn't want to use it because of with that right there rubbing on the mast. When we had the mast out, I want to put a hole in it, and I'm guessing what happened is I took it out and set it somewhere, and I left it at home. But oh well, we can get another one, and it'd probably be better to actually try and come up with some kind of custom something that we could connect back here on the solar panel, flip that LED light up so it would be above it, and then we could have something that goes from there to there, and that would cover us in the back here, and that would be really nice. Anyway, I'm blabbing, running Blab Fest, so we push on. I'll come back in a little while. Alright, I think I'm getting this tiller thing down pretty good. Like people drive with their knee, drive with my leg here. I just set it here and I can just sit, and then I can move my leg enough to do small turns and keep us going straight. There's a little bit of play in the rudder since it's the rubber gungans, or the rubber bushings and the gungans are gone. It can kind of move a little, so you can't go, you know, you can go straight for a little while, but every once in a while the water will push it a little on one side or the other, and because the bottom's loose, and so then you go a little to the side and you gotta adjust. But otherwise, it's not too bad. It's going pretty good, and I'm kind of liking it. You get to feel the boat a lot more and can see what it's doing, so I kind of like this compared to the wheel. The wheel's nice though, because you can stand up and you know, hold on to something in heavy seas, and then it also has a wheel lock that you can lock when you have to go forward to do things, whereas this, if you let go, you know, it would just swing. So I had to rig up our rope, so if we ever have to let go, it'll kind of keep us going straight, and we can, you know, adjust sails, or if anything goes bad, we can work on that. So, downriver we head. Thought I'd get some footage. This is a pretty cool picturesque scene. Cool footage of a sunken barge there that you probably would never get to see if the water wasn't so low. There you can see there's a whole bunch of wood that got caught on that loading dock there from the river. I've been thinking, if you were one of those people that find the old logs and rivers and sell them because the grain is real cool, now is definitely the time to get out on the river and find stuff. Those could be pretty old trees. So we got a barge up here we're going to pass. And we got about another, I believe, 24 miles to the cario spot. And farther than that to Homestead. Get a little more footage and show you just how low everything is. And there's the wing dams up out of the water. Normally they would be a few feet under the water. Now the top of them is a few feet out of the water. Here's something I thought I'd show you guys. Up there, straight in front of us, is the green beacon. If we were to go straight at that green beacon, because we're going around a curve the way the current is, by the time we got there, we'd be way on the inside and hit something. So what you have to do, because the way the current hits the shore here, and then it reflects back out, much go sideways. Is the easiest way I've found. Till you get over far enough that you know you're going to clear it. And then a little bit farther. And then turn straight towards it. Don't aim right at it. Aim probably 50 yards to the port side of it. So that way when you get there, the way the current is, and it's kind of going at an angle instead of straight, it doesn't push it too far over. Vehicle bridge that is by Cairo. This is the one that's north more of Cairo, and then there's one that's kind of closer before you make the turn on Ohio. Alright, here we go, under the bridge. These are always fun with the mass stuff now. Jolly Roger's flying. Doing good. We're about 6 miles from where we're going to anchor. And the hand tiller made it good. I'm actually kind of liking it. It's not ideal, but I think once we have the proper rudder mounts so it's not sloppy, it won't be that bad at all to do the trip with a tiller if you have to. Everybody, we got to the bridge just north of Cairo, or where the Ohio and Mississippi meet, and we're gonna anchor here. It's about 4 o'clock. That'll give us time to check everything, make sure it's doing okay, and then we'll be able to head out right away in the morning for Olmsted Lock and Dam in Paducah, and that'll be the plan.